I bisa ngomong bahasa Indo, tapi jelek banget. Jadi aku ngomong pakai English aja ya. Okay. I think I'm ready to start. So, I'll be speaking about what I do for Art and Space MoJA. I'll be presenting on the whole 9 art yard. So, it's about how we started, what it is and the plan for us, and why is it that there's an art movement on what MoJA is doing. I'll be presenting on some of the some of the lessons I picked up along the way to delve a little more on what inspired MoJA and me. This is currently MoJA. MoJA started when three of the initial members wanted to bring something different into Jakarta. They wanted to engage Indonesians to, experience life more than just their usual routines of cafes and malls. People are so capable of creating their own identity on social media that we want to encourage more personal curation through our works. So our first team was curated as a cinema, and we put a spin-off art into it. Our belief is to make art approachable, accessible, and removing the self-identity of artists so that people could shape their own identity to it. So it was developed as MoJA progressed in its influence. I studied art history. I learned that we are underrepresented. There's a lot of gender bias in our studies, which prompted me to work on MoJA and narrate my own history that I hope many others can identify with as well. One of the ways that MoJA moves forward is that we're always engaging with our followers, one-on-one on Instagram or Facebook, and listening to our employees on how to improve and deal with growth and conflicts. Responding to feedback is how we show that we're responsible for our work. Okay, and the second step is how do we stay creative? The best thing about creativity is that we all have it, and to tap into that ability, you have to be able to extract inspirations from different dialogues, such as music videos, fashion editorials, movies, nature, and be able to innovate those inspiration on your own. And I always bounce my idea with my team members from MoJA. There are people I work with, I look up to, and I'm okay with my ideas being called out by them because I know that creativity is a skill that you have to practice as you go along. That's how you develop your own style. And that is why we founded MoJA Create. So when we're not operating on MoJA Museum, we use the time to pursue other projects that we want to do. We're constantly looking for variations of partnerships to work with. Then there are some times when a company commissions us to do works for them, and they want us to do their production work. They don't want creativity from us. But I've come to understand that, this job, it will teach you to learn a lot. So I have to remember that no jobs are too small for us. Bob the Builder. Okay. When we started doing creative productions for company, we saw the potential in doing more as MoJA. We want to actually change the landscape of art. We want to create like immersive art installations in public spaces so that everyone can interact with art. And that's how I know what I want to pursue in my career. So I mentioned that I studied art history, so I read a lot about history and felt that there was more that I could be doing instead of writing pieces on dead people's work. In my own way, I wanted to push the boundaries of art. It's not just in your books. Right now, art is everywhere. It's engaging you to explore. Then I also work in different creative jobs industry. I figured I know who I want to pursue. I didn't want to sell paintings or reevaluate prices on fine art. I want to engage creatively with children, show their parents that what MoJA is doing that's attainable for your children, to show that maybe art is a niche, but we can partake in it so that we write history of art. And we also want to show that we're very open-minded with who and what we work with, that the limits are endless for art. Being able to explore creatively and defining art by transcending traditional art mediums and space, such as we work with food and beverage, technology, brands. We want to reach out to different age and social groups. And I also work on MoJA because I don't see why there's a need to categorize art as one specialized industry when it has the potential to be more. It could be used on so many mediums and interact with other fields of studies and work. So while I was working in MoJA, I learned that sustaining an art business it's not as easy as it sounds. I went from just designing on my laptop to being a producer of my production work. I was hammering on wood, painting, I was cleaning up. So because of all, and I'm juggling a lot of things at once, but because of all these goals that we have, I think that we have reached a point where we believe in our standards of quality for production and aesthetic, to create for other brand story, to portray our generation's behavior. And that's a relations to expect nothing and accept everything. In MoJA, because we're doing everything, we do 3D renders, mood boards, achieving variety for like companies, event, and like when you have a client who doesn't want to work with you, it teaches me one thing, is that I cannot expect like everything to be handed to me on a silver platter. So I make sure that I don't pin all my hopes into one basket. And therefore I have a team of 6 who split up individual tasks, help us move along a fast-paced timeline. Some of us are on creative, and some are constantly pitching to business for collaborations, and some will be handling operations. So I learned that the 5 years plan theory, it doesn't work for MoJA. Instead, we plan our own timing. Like we plan a good 4 months to really see what we want to do and how will we achieve it. So having a consistent team and a good plan is what really set the wheels in motion. And last, for me, I enjoy making people interact with art to see them happy, which I hope it will generate their interest in art more. And for MoJA, I think the success is by how far we can globalize art and lifestyle into daily life. So I will end the presentation on a word of wisdom, is that more often than not, a business counts their success by profits, but in the end, what is important is how your work will open doors for people who want to do what you're doing right now. Thank you.
Terima kasih Caroline. Thank you. Yeah.